everybody! I hope
Hello.
you're having a glorious, glorious Friday. I know I am because I'm here with the fabulous Momo from A Minstrel's Tale. Before we introduce her, I would like to thank our fabulous sponsor today, Hero Forge, who is absolutely amazing, has been incredibly supportive of us and the community in general and the Foundation for Inclusivity Gaming, and is the official sponsor for Momo's Adventure. It's going to be delightful. Yay. So everybody, run over to Hero Forge, grab the link in the chat, go down to the About page, check them out. If you want to level up your fabulous creative skills creating characters, like me, because I have no capacity with visual arts whatsoever. You're amazing for taking what's in here and putting it out into the world. And if you actually want, if you fall in love with your character and you want a little mini, they will make it for you and send it to you. Yay!
I love Hero Forge.
Thank you, Hero Forge. You're absolutely fabulous. And if you want to see our other sponsors and partners, please go down to the About page where you can learn all about them and click on all the various links and delightfulness. And don't forget to hit ! raffle so that you can be entered to win some fabulous Phoenix dice. Do you know why we love Phoenix dice, Momo?
Why? Why do you love Phoenix dice?
We love Phoenix dice because they make everything from recycled materials. Because they love the world we live in just as much as all the worlds we play in.
That's amazing. Oh my God. I'm going to have to get me some Phoenix dice. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, all you have to do is watch our streams because we regularly give away Phoenix dice on our streams. So, absolutely. We will be giving away some Phoenix dice today. And if we hit a fabulous subscriber threshold, we'll just give away a Phoenix dice just like that. Or if we hit a level 5 hype train, just like that. Dice for everybody.
Nice.
Everybody gets dice. Do it.
Hell
Do
yeah.
it. And now, who is this? Who is this that I see before me? Is this a Momo?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. Super excited to work with you. I've got some magnificent mythologies prior, and so very, very excited to work with you and make some awesome stuff. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I am Momo Shive. I am an indigenous Chickasaw and Japanese content creator. I am driven by my passion for evoking emotion through storytelling and always aim to bring my best for any project that I join. I work towards creating and connecting with other marginalized folks to create a space to uplift other voices and explore creative storytelling, just as we're about to do right now.
Right.
So very excited. Love
and one of the things that I love about that is that's exactly what the Foundation is here to do. And specifically with Magnificent Mythologies, every time we add another Magnificent Mythology to the already expanding library that we have up on Drive-Thru RPG, every single other creator of color that's been on benefits from that. So as we expand and as everybody is working together as a community, we actually get to help all of the creators that have been on the stream just by existing and promoting what we're doing there, you know. So you will be, just by sending out a tweet that says, hey, come and buy my thing. Absolutely, I've got a new fabulous adventure. Come and purchase it. You'll be helping everybody else too.
I love that.
It makes me super happy. And I'm really excited that June is going to be Indigenous Month. We have got fabulous people coming on like Momo to start us off, and then delightful people from Coyote and Crow for the next 3 weeks to come on and tell us delightful stories about all kinds of Indigenous cultures. So now, Momo, I need to ask you a question. An important question. Because the Coyote and Crow creators that are coming on, we are specifically creating stuff for Coyote and Crow, and then also creating it for 5e, so that there's sort of a bridge between 5e and Coyote and Crow.
Hell yeah.
Would you like us to help put yours into a Coyote and Crow format.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. That would be
Fabulous.
so amazing. Hell yeah.
I will have a chat with Wolf about
Yeah.
like doing a session maybe at the end of June where we just outline everything, where we edit everything for Coyote and Crow. And before that, we'll do all the editing for 5E so that we've got both versions of that available for everyone. I think that's really delightful. So yay.
Yeah, as someone who's played Coyote and Crow, absolutely, yes.
Oh
It is
God.
Seriously so good. Seriously, like the system is amazing and it's so good. It is so
You know what I do love about the system is that if you are a dice goblin, you actually get to use all of your dice.
Yeah. It's so good. And I love like the versatility too with like the character creation is so amazing. How you know taking your motivation and your archetype, and you can technically like be your any kind of character you want. Like you're not put in this little box of like you are this kind of class, you have to act or be this certain way. You know, I love that it's so like open, which is great. Yeah, absolutely. So great. Yeah, I had the privilege to play with some amazing folks at a nearly all Indigenous table, which was awesome, and it was for charity stream, and it was amazing. It was with
was that the one where you were playing with Matt?
Yeah, with Matt, and Utahime, and Logan was our DM or our story guide, and he was amazing.
Who wasn't Indigenous at the table?
Amber, I believe Amber just said that, like, she was like, I think, like, I forget the exact details of it, but yeah. So,
okay. No,
but yeah,
Amber,
they were.
Like, I was like, oh, all the people you mentioned, I was like, I think they're all Indigenous.
Yeah.
like, oh, and Amber, yes.
Yeah.
And White Lady.
Yeah.
Yes,
no, Amber is amazing though. Yeah, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Amber is fabulous, just in general.
Yeah, it was seriously so much fun. Like, had a freaking blast. So
yeah, I'm really excited for, like, I think the Indigenous ones should be done probably by like the end of June, like mid-July, I'm hoping. There is, so probably for our July charity stream we'll actually get to play some, and I think what we're going to do, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do them in the Coyote and Crow style instead of the 5E style.
That would be very cool.
So I might hit you up to come on the charity stream.
Hit me up.
But today we got to write an adventure for these people. There's like torches and pitchforks at the gate. A lot of pressure here. They want an adventure, damn it.
We will give them an amazing adventure.
That's right.
Just you wait. It is coming. An epic adventure. Yes, of a horned serpent.
Ooh, is that what we're going to be talking about today? Tell me. Ooh.
Yeah, an epic adventure of a horned serpent. So, yeah, it was just going through just different kind of stories, and trying to find something that would go well with what we're doing here today. And first I had the struggle of, do I want to do a Japanese story, or do I want to do a native Chickasaw story, because I'm mixed. So I'm just like, what do I do? And I leaned more.
You know what? You know what we can do? We can do the same thing with you. Don't tell anyone. We can do the same thing with you that we did with Matt, because Matt's Indonesian and Indigenous.
Yeah. Yeah, hit me up, Yeah, Matt and me are, as I say, we're Nasian, we're Nasian, me and Matt. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to, I would definitely love to do that. That would be awesome. But I leaned more towards the doing a Chickasaw story, because there is not a lot of, with everything that has happened, there's not a lot of knowledge, info out there about us. We are still here, just believe it or not. And it's just like with our like, language. We're trying to keep, like our language from being lost and all that, and just everything really. And it's very inspiring how, our tribe works so hard to, keep and hold on to all of these things. So I was like, yeah, like I want to contribute to that, and let's do an awesome Chickasaw story, Yeah.
Love it. And that is it's such a, I think a lot of people don't realize just how devastating the last 500 years have been to,
absolutely,
to indigenous nations. That there is, like having 90% of your population wiped out by smallpox, first off, isn't great. That's not super delightful. But then actively trying to suppress the information, the knowledge, and that there already are so many, like, we still, like, there have been entire nations that have just been completely wiped out. There's still 500 indigenous nations in the country of the United States. I think that's one thing that most people don't understand. Like,
and they're also like, different, like, so it's not like, oh, well, we still got some natives, it's cool. And it's just like, no, dude, like, for our tribe specifically, like, there are less than 75, like, fluent speaker, a majority of which are elders. And, with, the relocation, like, our tribe was also, relocated on the Trail of Tears, like, with, relocation. And then also, what they did too, and initially was they gave different Chickasaws land. So they gave them land. So what happens when people are in dire situations and they need money? They will sell that land. You know what I mean? So it's like the situation, if I can, they put them in, it's so bad. So then you get, like me, like I'm considered an urban native. I was not born on the reservation. I was born in Southern California, because my family, my mom moved from Oklahoma out to SoCal, and so then you get that kind of disconnect, and like we go back to Oklahoma every year for the annual, we have an annual gathering. So we go back every year for that, which is great. And like my mom's always been very like, keep connected to, like our culture and everything, which has been great. But it's like, they like the genocide is real. Like it's fucking gross. And, it's absolutely horrendous. Like
it's still happening. Like
exactly.
it's still happening. There is, there's like huge numbers of stories, like just like especially like up right now, like in the Sioux area, up in North and South Dakota, where there are, first you got all kinds of crazy pipelines going through, just displacing all these people, shattering the ecosystem, all of that kind of stuff. But there's also all of these much more sinister things that are happening. I know about that area very specifically because my sister's wife is Sioux. And so so I've gotten to hear like sort of like the boots on the ground version, not the what's on CNN version.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. And like the, a lot of people, like it's been very interesting for me recently with like everything kind of going on in the news and all that. And it's always funny to me when people say, oh, we're gonna lose our rights. We've never lost our rights before. That gets me because I'm like, y'all don't realize that, our literal First Amendment, which is freedom of, speech and religion and all that, like, natives could not practice their culture / religion until 1978 legally. I was born in 87, so 1978 ain't that long time ago. And if you want to get real technical, it's like it wasn't until 94, because they had to amend that in 1994 to make it all inclusive, because there were still limitations per that. So it's like this shit is not like hundreds of years ago. It's so detached.
This is our lifetime.
It's
still,
like,
well, and the reason I brought up the Sioux specifically is because of the whole thing with the land and selling it. There are incredibly, like, the poorest people in the country live on reservations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it is, you know, just statistically speaking.
Yeah.
And you have these predatory people coming in and buying up their homes.
Absolutely.
Or like, you know, like a 3-bedroom house that's been in the like that was
Yeah.
built from the hands of your grandfather.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're in a situation.
And they'll literally walk in and they'll be like, I'll give you 15 grand for it.
Yeah.
And they will take it because they literally cannot eat.
Yeah,
And it's like,
exactly.
are you kidding me? Like, this is a like astonishingly beautiful home that easily anywhere else in the country would sell for $500,000.
Yeah.
And you're going to turn around and you're going to start charging insane amounts of rent here on the reservation that nobody can afford. And it's still happening to this day.
Yeah.
And so this is one of the reasons that I get really happy when people come on who are actually interested in supporting not only themselves, but also everyone else in the community, because that means that the investment that the foundation is making in the things that it's doing, all amplified, you know? And that's what's really, for us, that's one of the things that's so important, because if we're going to keep up with the shitstorm that is happening, we have to be really smart about where we put those funds, you know, like we don't have like $1 million backer or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
We're doing this with monthly fundraisers right now.
Yeah.
So like if every dollar is amplified because we're going to support you, and then you're going to support other people, and then they're going to support other people. Yeah. That's when actual grassroots change begins to start taking.
And that's what like a community is about, is uplifting everyone, you know, and a sense of mindfulness of everyone, you know, and that's what's, you know, really great, you know, like that's what we need more of, you know, is people thinking outside themselves, you know, so
100%. So thank you for that. That's awesome. And I think that is a fabulous segue into who is this horned serpent? If we need more community, if we need a little more wisdom in our life,
right?
Who is this?
If you need some more wisdom in your life, you know, you can travel down to, Mississippi, which is actually where our tribe was removed from. And there's, you know, caves and creeks down there where you will find Saint Holo, the horned serpent, you know, and if you're wise enough, perhaps they'll, you know, show themselves to you and, you know, maybe, you know, bestow more wisdom on your gifts, you know, so
absolutely.
That's what we've got going on.
So my first question would be, are there any like specific stories about, and would you do me a favor and just put like maybe like in the background section on the Google Doc that name so I can see it?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's not the background section. Sorry. Here we go. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, like very specific stories that I unfortunately don't have. I have more of like information. And this kind of goes back to like things getting lost, you know, like
the destruction of a culture.
Yeah, exactly. And so like the image actually that I, you know, gave as for our background, you know, is a, you know, image that is Saint Holo from our tribe. And it was you know, images like that, and there's some other different ones too found at you know, Moundville, where, you know, our tribe was, you know, around. We were around you know, Mississippi, Alabama area, and moved around because we didn't like really stay in like one place, you know. That's another whole other story. but yeah, so yeah, it's just like an unfortunate thing that I have more of information rather than a specific story.
I would love some more information on Saint Holo.
Yeah. So, they're a horned serpent of Chickasaw and Choctaw folklore, which at one time Chickasaw and Choctaw were one tribe, so that's likely why it's of both there. There's a lot of like shared similar kind of stuff going on there, so yeah, but another story for another time. So yeah, although the Great Serpent was
let me be clear. Are you saying
mm-hmm.
that Native American cultures actually have like a rich history and there are multiple stories to tell? This isn't the only story.
Yeah, there was so many, like there are so many, like we could make this like a, you know, like 24 plus hour. We could get Wolf in here who's also Chickasaw. We could go to town, you know, like
I love it.
And then you get the other natives in here too, like just yeah, you, like 1 month wouldn't be enough. Like there's so much, and that's with everything that's been lost too, so right. Like, you know, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the Chickasaw and Choctaw, they before were one entity. They split into two different tribes. Two brothers, Chickasaw and Choctaw, were brothers. They led two groups, and yeah, they split basically. So yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, so one of my friends that I play video games online with, one day, I don't know how we got to talking about this, but came up of that I was Chickasaw, and he was like, dude, I'm Choctaw, we're cousins. And I was like, hey, amazing.
I love it. That's so fabulous.
Yeah, because you know, you don't, like, I mean, for me growing up in SoCal, like I had a couple Native friends, but like not a lot growing up. And like just the bullying too, like growing up Native in SoCal was like insane. So like you also weren't out like, hey, yeah, I'm Native American, you know, like, because the bullying was so intense, you know. So yeah, you know, like, so now as an adult and meeting other, you know, indigenous folks, it's like, it's awesome. It's like, hell yeah, like,
yeah, no, it's delightful. I grew up in a town of like 850 people in the mountains of Colorado, so being gay was not a thing.
Yeah.
I was the first one ever to come out in my high school, and because I did, and this is something that I will always be very proud of, because I did that, 4 people in the class that followed mine came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was just, and now it's just in the community in general, like it doesn't, especially in smaller communities, it does not take a lot to light that fire. And the assholes in the community that are going to tell you that you are terrible or wrong or evil for being who you are, it's easy for them to shout from a distance, but when you actually stand up and say fuck off,
when they're actually face to face with that, they're just like no,
it's amazing. It is. So I'm so sorry that you went through that, and I 100% empathize with that struggle.
Totally, yeah. It's, you know, like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Maybe a little emotionally unstable sometimes, but you know, you get through it. You get through it and be all right. You know.
We do not need to get into the full alphabet of mental disorders that are happening in front of you right now.
Right. Yeah, and it's you know, things like Coyote and Crow, you know, like for me, like legit, when I got my book, I cried like a baby, because I was like, oh my god, like as a kid, like I didn't have, you know, positive you know, representation in media as a Native person. Like we did not have that. What did we have?
You didn't even have Native actors. You had Hispanic actors or Italian actors
or white actors, you know.
Right.
It's, you know, it's like, yeah. And then what, as a kid growing up, what do you see? You know, you see you know, stuff like on Disney's Peter Pan, you know, and you see, you know, just different things on, you know, different, you know, cartoons, which I know everyone will say like, oh, those were different times, but it's like, but it was still wrong. Like it
was wrong regardless of the time.
Exactly, you know? It's still wrong, and it's like, as a kid you see that, and not having that positive in representation, it kind of makes some like internalized like self-hate or questioning that's like, whoa, like what's going on here? And that's really messed up.
Oh no, it's
Like,
absolutely messed up. And I'm
yeah.
a firm believer in grace in
Hmm.
situations like that, as long
Yeah.
as you 100% unequivocally acknowledge that it was wrong, you
Yeah.
know, and then it can be like, I understand it was wrong, and I
Yeah.
am learning,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
100%. I'm here for that
Absolutely.
conversation,
Same.
but
Yeah.
anything less than that,
Yeah, because that's
no
the
thank
important part, is like learning and like so yeah, like I was so freaking excited, when I heard about Kaidi and Crow. And it's funny because when for backing it, I was just like, oh, and I was like, I need to back this. I want to get the physical copy. But, I was kind of going through financial stuff, and I was like, shoot, maybe I'll have to just get the digital. And I kept kind of putting it off. I was like, okay, this will be a next paycheck purchase. This will be a next paycheck. And by the time the end of the Kickstarter, I had so much going on, and I was just like, oh shoot, everyone started getting their Kaiji and Crow books, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, did I back it? And I'm freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I was just so busy, like just with life, that like I kept meaning to check. I was like, I'll check it on my lunch break, or I'll check it on my break, or I'll check it after work. And I would just like, and then one day I was like, got this big box that was heavy as hell. I was like, what the hell is this? Why is this box so heavy? I didn't order anything. Like, what's going on? I get upstairs, open, it was my Coyote and Crow book. And I was like, hell yes.
Oh
So
my God, that's
excited.
bad.
That thing is big, dude. That thing is thick.
They put some work into it.
Thick.
Oh my God.
And it's I was like, oh my God, I was blown away. Like it's such a beautiful book. And like, like having that's like, wow, like this is great. Like I think about, if when I was a young person, like if I had something like this, like the difference it could have made for me in having having that positive representation, in a space, because like that just was not there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's so important, representation matters so much. So yeah.
Well, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, is that representation too matters. It matters now, but it matters much more 20 years from now. Because the representation that a child sees today is going to inform who they are in 20 years.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's really like, because people, like, oh, we've got a blah, it's like, okay, sure. But if you've got one decent representation and then everybody else has a terrible representation, then this is what this child is going to see over and over and over and over again.
Oh, absolutely. And it's why like equity is so important. It's like, yeah, equality, but like let's talk about equity, because that like, it's like your developmental stages, like that mindset is like, that's gonna be with you for life in one capacity or another. And like it may be something that kind of knocks you down, that you have to work through, that maybe others didn't have to work through because they had that, happy, positive representation. So
there are
totally.
I think about like when I started having this conversation, the image that keeps popping into my head is there's a scene in 30 Rock where Jenna Maroney, who is just terrible, just the worst diva you've ever seen, is sitting there talking. They're talking about all the Disney princesses, and Jenna jumps up and she's like, well, there hasn't been a white princess since 1991. And I'm like, and they go through the list and they're like, oh my God, you're right. And this was before like Tangled and all of that. And I'm just like, and my thing is, I'm like, it's absolutely meant as a joke, because then Jenna's so I'm setting up a foundation to teach, pretty blonde girls how to be mean to people. And I'm like,
oh, like they're like punching at that, that whole situation.
And but like I've heard legitimately like conversations like that, and I'm just like, so yeah, I get it, I understand, but there was, like 1,000 years of it before that in every form imaginable.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can handle a decade without sweetness.
Yeah. 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 Considering the fact too, and this is the other thing too, is like, okay, sure, like growing up, like if you want to argue, sure, I had Pocahontas as a positive representation of Native. First off, not even my
Let's put
tribe.
that in. These quotes need to do a lot of heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting, because heavy, because not even her real name, and she was a child, and just so much wrong, and it was twisted so heavily, like, and it's like, and to me, I think the irritating thing about that is like, media portraying and doing these kind of things is it further it further cements in people's minds like, hey, you don't know much about Native anything, but here's this Disney movie, and people like they take that
here's how white people are great when it comes to Native Americans.
They take that, they're like, oh wow, look at, I learned so much, and I'm like, it's a Disney movie. Like, oh no, like there's a lot to unpack here, and it's like the disrespect that's done is just like, like the caucasity, like,
Oh my God, I've never heard that before. You made me so happy with this thing.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
wow. Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm like, oh cool, like, yeah, like, yeah, it's just like, we just gotta do better.
Right? Well, and that's the thing. I feel like for me, that's a big thing when it comes to wisdom is learning, doing better. Like, I've always looked at wisdom as sort of, your experiences, you build the castle.
Yeah.
Living, right?
For sure.
Wisdom is the cement that goes between the bricks. The bricks are facts and experiences. And the wisdom is how you put them together.
Absolutely.
Which is why every single one is different. Like, internally, everyone's landscape is totally different because some people have a lot of wisdom. And when you start looking at their internal landscape, it is the beautiful, gorgeous flying buttresses and stunning walls and spires and things like that. Right. And then you talk to some people, maybe not, and it's just sort of a pile of bricks. No,
definitely agree there that that those life experiences, that adversity and that growth and, going through challenging things, like it pushes you, I look at it as like, it's an opportunity, you're either going to take this opportunity and grow and learn from it, or you're going to let it get the best of you, and I feel like it's always good to like take that chance to upgrade your wisdom, upgrade that castle, like always.
100%.
And we always have to keep learning, like you can, like, just don't ever stop, basically. Like,
how does this serpent help you do that? How does Sint Hollow?
So Sint Hollow is basically like being a very powerful spiritual guide. Basically, they would appear to certain people, particularly also during fasting, during fasting, and they would also bestow like spiritual gifts upon them, which it kind of, if you think of it as like, oh, reward for your fasting, or if someone who is wise is seeking them out to, obtain more wisdom, then they would also appear to them. So kind of in that sense, it's like, wanting to help those who are helping themselves, so someone who's, they're wanting to help themselves, they would not appear to someone who is, not, doing something to better themselves, essentially. So, yeah.
I love it. Okay, fabulous. So so first off, let's talk of geography. So where are you going to find Sint Hollow?
You're going to find Sint Hollow in like kind of like cavey areas with a lot of like interconnected kind of cave situations going on, creeks, throughout those caves, and also basically where there's water and there's caves, like
Okay,
that's
fabulous.
that's kind of the situation there, like landscape wise is where you're going to be finding them, you know. Yeah.
So a place that would be perfect for fasting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
So,
yeah. Yeah, no temptation of
well,
vegetation
just in a
and
cave
whatever.
with some water, you can
Yeah.
survive.
Right.
And it's quiet. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, and alternatively too, Sinhalo could also be very dangerous. They were also known to be very dangerous, and they could drag you to your watery death. So like,
Ooh.
so
Okay.
there's a duality there.
So what would cause Saint Hollow to actually, instead of bestowing gifts on somebody, to actually turn on them and decide this person needs to be removed?
Yeah. Let's see. I see, like, and I don't have a solidified answer on this, but I imagine it'd be shitty people, like I imagine
Absolutely.
it, with them being like, those, with them leaning towards helping those are trying to do better themselves and who are wise and seeking more wisdom. I imagine it would probably be the opposite of that. People who are, selfish, thinking only of themselves, or people who are, maybe like lazy and not wanting to help themselves, so maybe it'd be the opposite of that, since there is that duality there of,
So
like, I'll give but I'll take away.
So I'm curious, just from a storytelling perspective,
Yeah.
I totally see that duality.
Mhm.
Do you think that they might drag someone to their death who is actively trying to stop someone from meditating, fasting, wisdom? Like they would be a protector, wise,
From being,
instead of just a punisher of
the
unwise.
I think so. Yeah, someone trying to hinder with someone trying to do good. Yeah, I think definitely they'd be like, no, like go after that. Yeah, I definitely think that'd be a possibility there for sure.
Okay, because obviously we're going to have to create a stat block for St. Hollow.
Yeah. Oh yes.
100%. What I'd like to know is, so first off, does St. Hollow swim?
Oh yes, Sinholo swims and is aligned with water. They are also the avowed enemy of the thunder spirits, if that helps, because the thunder spirits can defeat Sinholo with their thunderbolts. So they are definitely have a weakness to thunder.
Okay, I love that, and quite potentially why they would stay in the cave.
Yeah. Because there's cover there, keeping safe.
Can they spider climb? Can they climb walls? Like, do they have climb speed?
Oh, that's a very good question. So our background image is Sintolo, and I'm not seeing any legs. I'm seeing wings. So I would think they have a fly speed rather than a climb speed, because they're kind of like a horned snake.
Yeah. So because you are on the Gulf of Mexico, in that area, is there any sort of common ancestry mythologically between Quetzalcoatl and St. Hollow that you know of?
Not that I know of. I know that like they have like a, because I believe with the Quetzalcoatl, they don't they like possess lightning or thunder, like are they also weak to that?
Well, they are. So Quetzalcoatl is like 40 forms.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable on them.
Yeah, the Aztec gods all would take completely different. They would just appear as avatars, and anything could be an avatar.
Right.
But one of the most common ones was the flying serpent, which is why I asked.
I see.
No. So if not, totally fine.
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna Google that. We're going to
do our research.
Do the Google, and let's see what we've got here. Let's see what we've got. So what I see here on a couple different, so it looks like I mean, horned serpents are, throughout a lot of different. Okay, so what I'm seeing here actually is, yeah, there seems to be like horned serpent in general is not restricted to the Americas. I mean, as we know, because that even in the West and the East, and other parts of the world, there are also, horned serpents. But yeah, I do see Quetzalcoatl coming up as well in like that area. So maybe there is some kind of similarities there. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't, it was just an idle curiosity, but now I'm like, because I've got several people who are doing Aztec myths coming, I think in August. So I'm just like, ooh, that might be an interesting thing to research before that and see sort of what this is. Maybe do like a thing where it's like, I would love to do like a stream with multiple guests where it's like there is a myth that has been disseminated throughout several cultures and actually talking about like what that looks like. I think that would be delightful.
That would be crazy. Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so Sin Hollow. So we know they've got a fly speed, they've got wings, they've got a swim speed. All right, awesome. And what are their sort of attacks?
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, what I'm seeing here. So there was I can send this image to you if this helps. So this is found in Moundville, Alabama, which is where our tribe was as well. So this symbol was found there for a representation of St. Holo. And yeah, it says the best known feathered serpent of the New World is, of course, the Aztec Quetzalcoatl, who was exiled by the gods for his gifts of knowledge to the Aztec people. So holy shit, like there's some similarities going on there. Like
absolutely. Well, and I find it very interesting because if you look at the representations of wisdom from mythology throughout the world, you've got things like Horus, who is the ibis-headed, winged flying god in Europe, or not Europe, in Egypt.
Yeah.
You've got all of the Asian water dragons who are the bearers of wisdom and good fortune, in many situations. So yeah, there is. I feel like the Europeans just sort of missed the boat.
Miss Hubble. They're like, dragon.
Oh, someone wants to teach me something. It must be a monster. Oh my god.
I think for Celtic culture though, they saw them as symbols of wisdom too.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know too much about European like lore and mythologies and stuff. So, but I was like, oh yeah, I think that when I was researching St. Holo, that came up. That I was like, oh, interesting. But yeah, dragon.
Yeah, I love it. So
I would say, they're technically kind of like a dragon,
So we've got a fabulously powerful, incredibly wise dragon named St. Holo. Lovely. All right, cool. I was just sort of trying to wrap my head around that. We know they live in the caves. We know that there needs to be like water in the cave. Both, if you're going to talk to Freud, both of those are representations of the subconscious. So absolutely, 100% works with psychology as well. 100% down with that. I think the next thing that I'd want to figure out from a storytelling perspective is how easy is it to get St. Holo's attention?
I mean, we definitely want the adventurers to be able to get their attention. Maybe they have to like maybe throughout the adventure that's what they're doing is they're looking for them, and maybe they'll find them, maybe they won't. Are you wise enough? Like
so what I'm thinking initially, because I love a subversive narrative, like I love expectations that just get smashed to bits at the end, is something So I'm currently sort of thinking of two things. The first one being the adventurers are contacted by somebody to protect them, on their journey. Like they have to take some sort of journey in order to gain a leadership role in their community, and part of that journey is going and fasting and summoning St. Hollow so that they can lead their community to greatness. And that the adventurers are not, because these are sacred rites, the adventurers from outside the community are not told. They're just told you need to be like, you need to guard. Like that's
like a protection mission.
And there can absolutely be like, things where like you're going to the forest, to the caves, and there's some encounters and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when they get to the cave and they are then, like, I feel like, and we can sort this out, but then like when St. Hollow appears, suddenly like the adventurers want to take out St. Hollow because they don't know
like,
what's
a dragon. Yeah. I love that.
It's a matter of like figuring out who's wise enough to understand what's happening here, type thing.
You know what? Yeah, I love that.
The other thing I was thinking of is very specifically that there is a political conflict, and that there is somebody that wants to be a ruler, and like two people that want to be rulers. One of them goes out to seek St. Hollow's favor, and then these adventurers are sent to by the one who is devious and terrible to go and murder this person so that they can get the crown. They're told, that this person is like a bandit or something like that. So they hid in there. And then because they are trying to attack somebody seeking enlightenment, St. Hollow will then attack them. And then it's a matter again of sort of figuring out like, oh, what's really going on here?
Yeah.
So either one of those.
I think I vibe more with the first one. I think I vibe with the first one. I think I dig that, Yeah.
Fabulous. And I think that one too, like, I think there's absolutely like portions of it, like the whole, all of Act 2 could absolutely be like being in the cave and being presented with like, images and hallucination of, like what is like the thing that they need to like work through. It could absolutely be, like, I feel like it could absolutely be like a situation where like you're forcing all of the characters to confront, because everyone has like the trauma in their backstory, right. Like this is a situation where you are forcing your players to confront that in order to gain the wisdom from it, because that's the only way to get through it. Something like that for Act 2, and then the dragon appears and they think they need to fight the dragon, and then the person who's been meditating is like, anyway, we can figure it out.
And I have like, if we for an encounter on the way there, I totally have something for that. So we've got a native, like basically the Chickasaw Bigfoot is called Lofa. So we could totally throw that in there,
Absolutely.
They're like an ogre type of monster, whose name literally means flayer or skinner, so that's real fun. Have some nightmares over that tonight. Who flays the skin of their victims, like.
Well, it could absolutely be that there is like that they've been roaming the woods for a while. And that's why they need the protection.
Because they're like, Lofa's out there.
But we could also build into the backstory, like, this is why it's so important to go now, because it's been so long since anyone has gained this wisdom. And things are just starting to fall apart. Okay. Ooh, I am liking how this how this is already. All right. So, okay, a couple more questions. Now I've got questions about Bigfoot.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Some people associate him to the Chickasaw Bigfoot. Yeah. It's basically like a big, smelly, like giant man type of shaped ogre like monster, so they would attempt to abduct Chickasaw women apparently and skin them. because maybe our skin is nice. I don't know. Like,
it is. You look radiant.
Thank you. They're like, their skin is nice.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, what's
do not skin people.
Yeah, instead of them being like, what's the skincare routine, you know, he was just like, I'll just take the skin. It's like, no, you can moisturize yourself. Like, yeah. So yeah, that I think that could be cool. That could be definitely cool, you know.
Love it. Okay.
Foul smelling giant ogre like monster.
Yes, indeed. So we've got the Bigfoot. We've got all of that. All right. So let's think about. I feel like we've got a very solid concept to start. Right.
For sure.
We've got We've got a really good first act where people are. It's very easy. You've been, you know, been assigned. We've been assigned a task by somebody, and they're with the party. Yeah. So we are definitely going to have to do a stat block with them as well.
For sure.
So I'm gonna start a writing. We're gonna start pen and paper.
Exciting.
There's so the first thing is going to be we've got rewards here. Then I'm going to add something here that's going to be stat blocks. That's going to be stat blocks. Let's make that heading 3. Let's make that a little bigger. There we go. Stat blocks. We've got stat blocks. So we are going to need Sintolo. And am I pronouncing that even close to correctly?
Yeah, I believe so. Sintolo. Yeah.
All right. Can you, down in the stat blocks underneath Sin Hollow, can you put the name of the Bigfoot?
Oh yeah. Let's put that right now. Let's see here.
And then we will have that, and that will be glorious. Make me very happy.
There we go. Lofa.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
All right. Lofa. All right. And oops.
Oh, sorry.
And there is now. What is the name of the Wisdom Seeker?
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let me see here. Name of our Wisdom Seeker. I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to go with let's go with let's see. You know, like let's see. I'm like so torn here, but let's see here. Let's do this just to like keep it simple. We'll go with yes. No, oh my god. So their name is Momo. Like, no. No. Here, I'm gonna put this here for you. So we'll go with their name being Piominko, which basically means leader and war prophet in Chickasaw. So yeah, it's like a leader type of title, so we can go with that.
Awesome. Love it. All right, cool. So we've got that. All right, so we've got those 3. I think those are the ones that we might discover that we need extra stats for something else, but those are the ones that we know that we're going to need. So let's jump into, I think chapter 1 is going to be pretty solid with showing up, doing something. I'd love if there is some sort of celebration or something like that to send this Wisdom Seeker off to find a solution to what's going on. That this is, instead of it being a situation where it's like, we're in dire straits and everybody's dying, that it's like, no, this is now the time for someone to go. This is a celebratory thing.
Yeah.
Send them off. And that'll also allow the players to do a lot of character building, you know, at the party, whatever the celebration is.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Then chapter 2 can be the journey through the woods, the encounter with Lofa. And then chapter 3, unless we just want to do the encounter with Lofa in chapter 1, get to the caves in chapter 2, start having vivid hallucinations through fasting, and then do the encounter with St. Hollow in chapter 3.
Yeah, I think that could actually be good too. I think that would work probably better. Have the encounter with Ilfa in chapter 1. Chapter 2 could be, because they're also like navigating these caves, which could be like a maze or something, some kind of maze-like situation. Maybe there's some tricky stuff along the way.
Well, that's we had a whole in one of our campaigns, we actually went to the Temple of Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory, and it was a very similar thing where it's like as you entered different spaces, memories would pop up.
Very cool,
things like that. And so it might be, I think that might be really okay.
That would be cool.
Let's look at this though, from a sort of holistic perspective of like, really what is a table going to be capable of.
Right, for sure.
In a situation like that, it would essentially be a guided a sort of a guided dream therapy almost type thing, where a character would talk about like the backstory of this character and like be like, okay, I'm trying to think, how do we want to set this up and who we want to have involved in those moments. Should it be that the person who is the character that's having the memory is the one that sees them, or that the entire party can interact with that memory in order to help them through it and do a whole like party cohesion thing?
I think a party cohesion thing sounds good. That way, like everyone is very involved and like working together. I think that would be good.
I think that would be really cool. And in that situation, I think the best mechanic for that would be to have each person in chapter 1, have them tell the DM like some secret from their past that is their backstory, and then that can be what the DM actually creates.
That scene from. I love that. That's great.
Okay, cool. So let's do, in chapter 1, we need to have, I'm going to put a little thingy here, and we're going to have some bullet points. So chapter 1, the players get to, what's the name of the town?
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me work on that. Well, you got me.
I did. Well, that's really the whole point. It is.
Yeah.
This whole show is just an excuse for me to just be terrible to people who go like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole thing.
You can tell I'm in distress right now. I am in so much distress. I will get you a town name.
Ooh.
So let me get you a town name.
I think what is this town? Let's figure out, what is this town? Is this a central town? Is this a small town? Does it lie on like the outskirts? Is it like, what's its role in the larger nation?
Let's say that this is like a large like village situation. This is a large village type of situation here. Let's see here.
So we get to the large village of something fabulous.
Let's see. Let me work on getting us a name.
Absolutely.
That's very important. So I don't want to mess that up.
So players get to the large village of Napier, and they have been invited. Let's go up to adventure hooks and let's get some of these sorted through. All right, so adventure hooks. Players can be summoned to help Piominko to get to the caves safely. Um, I feel like players can respond to a notice in another town that that name of town here is looking for adventurers to help in a small task.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll figure out others as needed. So they have responded to the call and have presented themselves in front of Piomingo. Piomingo invites them to share in the feast. Would that be culturally appropriate? Like if they like there would be a feast before fast?
Gosh. Let me see here. I'm not terribly familiar with fasting practices per like my tribe specifically. I mean, I'm not too familiar on that, unfortunately.
Sure. Would you be okay? This is your story, so would you be okay with them having a feast to sort of introduce themselves to people?
Yeah, I think that would be good, and it also would give the like players that opportunity to kind of mingle and interact. Essentially, like it gives a good way to bring people together for sure.
Feast that has been laid out. During the feast, the adventurers should feel free to mingle with each other and various guests. The DM should help the players to explore the opportunities for role play by generating a few NPCs. Here are a few options. I'd like to put in just like maybe 3 sort of archetypes for NPCs that would be appropriate, that would be at that feast, with a few names. So I'm gonna do let's do female name 1 there. Tell me about them.
Yeah. let me I got you right here with that. So many notes. Hold on. There we go. That is the wrong notes. Okay, here we go.
It's wrong. Momo.
So our first one, we can go with Tawana, and I'll put that there for you. Oh, here let me put there we go. We've got Tawana there. So this is a name meaning like beautiful running water, which is also translated as little princess. But so there's one of our folks here.
Do we want Tawana to be a child or an adult?
Let's go with an adult.
Okay, fabulous. So we have got, and what's her personality? What's the way that she's going to draw out the role play from these adventurers?
Yeah, I think their personality is very inquisitive. Like they're very inquisitive, like very like kind, like just like an easy to talk to type of person. So very easy to talk to and very curious.
Inquisitive, curious, and kind. What does she do?
What does she do in like her
What is her
role?
function in the community?
Yeah. Oh goodness. You know what? We're gonna go with the alternate translation. She is quite literally a little princess. We'll go with that as well. So she is yeah, there we go. We'll do that.
So in this culture, what does that upper like sort of segment of society look like?
Yeah, so basically let's see here. So we'll leave it in a way of like it's like she's kind of a daughter to someone in a leadership position, essentially. Like, yeah, to make most sense of it.
Awesome. So now the reason I'm asking is because I want to make sure that the language in this adventure is appropriate. So what does that, would she be the daughter of a noble or a chief or a
so she would be like the daughter of the chief, basically.
Okay. So an inquisitive, curious, and kind daughter of the chief. Is that how you spell chief? I was incorrect. It is I-E, not E-I.
Yeah, it's I-E. I only knew because I'm like looking at something here that has the word chief on it. I have a list of like Chickasaw names to reference. So
I love it. Yeah,
it's like I gotta bring these, you know, like.
Let's see. Let's say that Tawana, because she is so inquisitive, she's gonna ask them about like their previous adventures. Like that's gonna be her. Sort of, like that's what she wants to know about.
Yeah, for sure.
Daughter of the chief wants to know all about their previous adventures. Okay, who is the next one?
The next one. Well, we should probably have like the actual chief himself. So let's go ahead and have us a chief.
Fabulous.
So, we will go ahead and the chief here. Oh, I gotta like click on the page might help. So there we go. We'll have the chief, Miko, which literally means chief in Chickasaw.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll just, you know, insert language here.
Fabulous. So we've got
we'll insert language here, yeah.
Miko, chief of the village. What's their personality?
Oh, their personality, I'm gonna say their personality, they're also very like concerned for like the people they're responsible for. So like very caring, very like concerned for the people that they're taking care of. Yeah. Like someone, very warm personality. But in the right situations, like they're very like strong and wise. Like when those situations arise, I imagine like they have like a lightheartedness to them, but like in situations where they need to, be like their people need them to be strong, then they're very strong in those moments. But other than that, they're very light-hearted.
Fabulous. There's all right. So I've got caring and empathetic leader, warm and wise, jovial and daring. There's what are they going to want to know most about the adventures?
Probably making sure that they have the right people going along. They don't want to send the wrong people because then things could go terribly wrong, terribly bad. So probably they're gonna be more in a kind of in that, having that level of responsibility, being more of like, let me make sure these are the right people to be sending, because I don't want anything to happen to anyone. So we gotta make sure it's the right folks.
How would they determine whether they are the right people? Is this going to be asking about? Because I'd like to use NPCs as a way for the DM to gain the information that they'll need.
Yeah.
Set up the scenes later.
Oh yeah, maybe that could be how the DM gets the secrets or the different things from people.
Is that each one can be different, and the DM can determine like which one they're gonna present. So it might be about an old adventure. With the leader trying to figure out who they are. Is it gonna be like
maybe tell me about like a feat you did, like tell me about an accomplishment, that way they can gauge, will you be up to this task,
what's the situation with family ties in the village? Are they very important? Is your family more important, or is your role more important, or is serving the community in general more important, or independence more important? Like, what's the tie to family?
I would say like your family and like your clan is important for sure. But I think like as an overall, just like society and like community is also very important. I think that like you wouldn't be out for like your own ass or your own family's ass. Like you would be out for everybody, so like while family and your clan is important, thinking about like the bigger picture and like thinking about like the whole group would probably like precede that.
Absolutely. There is I feel like asking a question, like what I'm thinking is like, what is the kindest thing you can say about your grandmother? And what is the worst thing you can say about your grandmother? To sort of gauge, like in that adventure, like how they look. But if the community in general is more important, then I think that might not be as appropriate.
Maybe just like telling about like something, like telling them about like what was their greatest.
What is the feat that you used to help your community? What is the greatest thing that you ever did for your community?
That way they can like kind of gauge that. I was gonna say like, what's the greatest thing you did, because depending on how people answer that too, it could be like, the greatest thing I did was like, and then it's like something that like was very self-serving, or the greatest thing I did was, and then it was like something to help multiple people, and that could be kind of a gauge of that. And maybe if, depending on the answers of the players, if the players come up with something that's very selfless, that plays a part maybe later. Whereas if they come up with something that's like, oh well, I did this and it's very selfish, then maybe it comes up later in a different kind of way. Unless that's too much, let me know.
No, absolutely. I am 100% here for complex narratives.
Okay.
That can be, as long as they can be put down onto the paper. If there's not a way to transfer it from our head to theirs, then it gets messy. But this is, all right, cool. So we've got the chief. Let's do the third one and see. So we've got, what's your adventure? What's one of your previous adventures? What's your greatest feat? What should be the next question?
The next question, let's see. Let me see what I got here. The next one, let's see. We will go with, gosh, I'm trying to think of the next question, or the next kind of
so we've
thing.
got sort of, what have you done with the group? What have you done for yourself? Let's do
maybe what, like,
Ooh, what's
what's your plans or something, or
what's the most amazing thing you've seen someone else do?
oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I feel like that'll sort of like allow
Yeah.
everybody to like
Yeah.
deflect where they
Mhm.
need to with their character in order to like grasp something. So
Yeah.
who's gonna ask that?
So we'll go ahead and we'll have Lushanya ask that. So let me put that right here. So we'll have Lushanya ask that. And yeah, Lushanya means songbird. So yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to throw a red herring in here. So can we have Lushanya be like seem like a little devious, a little
oh yeah
like
for
trying
sure.
to pry.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah,
see.
we totally can.
She will attempt to pry information out of the players about the best. Ooh, maybe it'll seem like she's trying to like tear the like adventurers apart by asking about, well, didn't they do something better than you did? Is that sort
like
of
trying
energy?
to test the party, like, are they gonna fall apart at these,
Right.
you know, because if that's the case, then they're not the right ones, like
that their compatriots have accomplished. Lushanya is a lovely person, but should be played. All right, so the DM should help the players to explore their backstories, or their backstories with NPCs at the feast. Here are a few options. Feel free to create your own. All right, basic knowledge is a lovely person, but should be played as sinister in order to throw the adventurers off the trail in order to ensure the players players don't figure out what is happening at the feast. All right, so we've got that about the best feats that their compatriots have accomplished. Did I just say loverly? Like we're doing My Fair Lady now, apparently. All right, there is figure out what is happening at the feast. Cool. So we've got all three of those. The feast itself should be used as a way to encourage role play, but more importantly, it should be used as a way to have each player tell a story from their past that can be used as a scene in the caves in Act or in Chapter 2. The scenes in the next chapter should not be overly complex, but should be meaningful to the individual
Yeah.
character. Yeah, so if it's just, like literally a scene of like, I lost a locket and
Right.
it meant everything to me, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Or there's a giant battle and I am, jumping
Right.
around
Right.
doing everything, that's fine too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So in chapter 1, we have got this fabulous feast. My
Mhm.
guess is that they'll spend probably, generally, for a one shot at somebody's table, I assume it's going to be somewhere between like 3 and 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a good, probably like getting everybody settled, all that kind of stuff. This could probably take us all the way to like 45 minutes to an hour at least. There is, and because I'm a messy bitch that lives for drama, I want this.
You're good.
I think we should have Lofa interrupt the party.
Oh, shoot.
And that would be the way that'll be a nice transition, so that once the DM has everything that they need, then the Act 1 can be defeating Lofa and saving. Let's have them save Tawana. I mean, it is a ridiculously classic trope. The princess is
right.
kidnapped by a monster.
Right.
Of theirs. All right, so we have got, and let me make sure that I'm spelling this properly. Tawana with 2 N's. Tawana will be kidnapped by Lofa once the DM has gained the info necessary to set up chapter 2. The fight with Lofa should be challenging because the players will gain a long rest afterwards. So attrition is not an issue for the rest of the adventure. All right, fabulous.
Yeah.
There is, once the adventurers defeat Lofa and save Tawana, they can head to bed, ready to face the journey to the caves in the morning. Fabulous. I feel like that's a solid Act 1.
I agree. That's a very solid Act 1 we've got there.
So we've got some fun things happening. Then we've got a little adventure, and the DM on the slide gets to grab all the information they need to set up fabulous scenes in
Little
chapter.
do they know.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
Chapter 2. Important question before we get to chapter 2.
Yes.
This is going to determine, I think, the level of this adventure. Is this fight, what this is going to look like. So, like I said, like we don't have to worry about any sort of attrition. Everybody can blow all of their spells and all of their things. because they'll get to sleep after this.
Yeah.
What level do you want this to be at?
Ooh. Ooh, well, in terms of thinking for like 5e, I think let's make it like a level 6. I think level 6 is pretty good. Like a good, when you're doing a one shot, like you don't want to be too low level, but like too high, because then a lot of people aren't familiar with playing higher level stuff, I think. So maybe around level 6 would be good, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. You get some cool stuff at level 6, I feel like, around level.
And you'll have access to 3rd level spells, but not 4th level spells at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do, all right, so fabulous. So this will be a intro, this adventure is balanced for a, let's call it a 5th to 6th level party.
Yeah. Should we go 7th?
Well, that introduces 4th level spells,
That's
which is
true.
where the
That's
power
true.
creep
That's
starts
where.
getting.
Yeah, let's
Like,
do
there's
5th. Yeah, let's do 5th to 6th level then. Yeah.
But
Let's
I
do
mean,
that.
I'm absolutely happy to do 7th or 8th level, because that is like, that definitely introduces things, and this can be, you are facing a dragon.
Yeah,
So,
let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do 7th or 8th level. You know, let's just go big, right? Like, let's just go big, right? Why not? Yeah. Because you don't get to play a lot of higher level stuff. Like, let's just go level 20. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna make St. Hollow like a legendary dragon.
Yeah,
you know, absolutely.
Totally.
You have to be level 19 to face them. Like this.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Well, so we do have one of the adventures that I'm editing right now from Zephyba. Is actually a whole adventure about a dragon trying to destroy the world.
Oh wow!
And so you each like literally like, and it's a story about how it ate. Like there were 7 moons in the sky at one point, and it ate them, and that's why there's only 1 moon left. So it's
you need to be really strong.
Like, on their own moon to start, and they are all super powerful. And as the moons get shattered, then you have to join your friends, and it's a whole delightful like combat.
That's cool. That's cool.
So I am not scared of high level adventures.
Well, you tempt me, you evil temptress.
It's true.
Honestly though, like, okay, let's go higher level then. Fuck it. Like, let's go higher level then.
All right.
Let's see. Shoot. I mean, like, we don't need to go like all the way, but
let's base this then on what we want St. Hollow to be.
Okay.
There is, and then because there should be the option for the adventurers to actually defeat St. Hollow. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
We don't want that, and that will be a terrible outcome that would have like drastic repercussions for everyone in the community.
Right. Or maybe that like they don't defeat them, but like they they defeat them, but really it's that St. Hollow is just like, you can't see me anymore, like I'm out.
I'm done. Thank you so much. And I'm never going back to this village.
Consequences of your actions. Have fun with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's say, what CR do we want St. Hollow to be around? I want them to be powerful enough that they could be one of the points of all of this is to get non-Western concepts into Western brains. And considering that like 80% of the people playing D&D are still just white European people. Giving them some crazy, fabulous, powerful dragon that they can drop into their setting, I think.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that. Like, and I mean, if you think about it, like, like a being that is very like, you know, you can't see me unless I want you to see me. I feel like you have to be very strong to do that kind of stuff too, and drag you to your watery depths. Like, I feel like we want St. Hollow to be a very, you know, very powerful
So we've got,
Going
do you want them to be
searching.
like an adult dragon or an ancient dragon?
Oh, let's go ancient.
Okay, cool. So there is, all right, I'm looking. There's adults, dragons. All right, we start getting into ancient dragons at CR 18.
Oh boy.
So I feel like having, you know what we could do? We could make St. Hollow a god of wisdom and then create the stat block for their avatar instead.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Why don't we do that? That'll be
Yeah,
fabulous.
I like that it's an avatar instead. Yeah, like a
St. Hollow avatar. And so let's make the avatar. I don't think I want to go all the way up to like 9th level spells. I'm feeling 7th level. 7th level spell.
Yeah.
But it's at level 13.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
So let's do, all right, so we are at 13th or 14th level. Or 14th level. There we go. All right, St. Hollow avatar will be CR, let's call it CR 15.
Sounds good.
And then Lofa can be, because Lofa is, we want them to like do full on combat with Lofa. I feel like a CR, like a straight up CR 13 would be solid there.
For sure.
CR 13. So scary. I'm definitely going to want to throw some layer and legendary actions in there.
Oh yeah.
And then Piaminko, let's make them the same level as the party, so level 13.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Right, so level 13. There we go. And we can figure out what their basic thing will be in a little bit. All right, so that is chapter 1 taken care of. Fabulous.
And I've got a town, a village name now too. I put in there.
Oh, I love it. Okay, that's gonna be the last thing we do before we head to break.
Cool.
There is, let's see. So in the large village. Oh, I see you put it in there.
Yeah. Chikalisa. So we've got our village name.
Yay! We've got the village of Chukalisa.
Yeah, a very quiet, calm village, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Miko, the chief, his daughter Tawana. We've got Lushanya, who's like obviously the village gossip.
Yeah. Yeah. When they say a little bird told me, they're just like, oh, we know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, that's what her name means. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God.
They're like, oh, okay, we know exactly who.
As the village gossip.
Yeah.
She would attempt to pry information out of the players. All right, fabulous. I love that. All right, awesome. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Stick around. Everybody hit !raffle and enter the raffle for the fabulous Phoenix Dice. We will be back in 5 to 10 minutes as we continue our fabulous adventure with Momo. Yay! Awesome. And we're back. Yay! I hope you got them dice. I sure hope so. I hope you got that raffle in. And I hope that you went and checked out on the break heroforge.com because they are absolutely amazing. And you should go and visit them and tell them they're doing a great job supporting the community. So, yes, I am very, very, very excited.
Should brought my mini over.
You should have. How dare you?
You want me to show you my minis from Hero Forged? I can show you them.
Yes.
Come on. Okay, let me grab them real quick. Okay.
You will get to see real minis. Real minis, people. Real minis. I hope you are excited about it because I am excited about
it.
Okay,
we've got minis over here. So my first, I'm gonna have to like do this because of the green screen. We've got like my first Minnie, which is my first
Oh
D&D
my
character.
God.
Oh gosh, she fell. This is my Twilight cleric, who I love very dearly. My first one,
Absolutely.
D&D character that I made. Great
love it.
tiefling girl who's like an anti-religious cleric. It's great. May or may not be talking to two gods, because why not?
That's right. That's
And
right.
of course, I've got Mistral here, who is the mascot for my channel, who was a character for a campaign, who became my mascot. And she's giant. Like, she's massive, dude. Like, it's awesome. Like, I had to make
Love
her
the
like
cheat.
XL. Like, if you look at the height difference.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she big. Like, Mistral's 7'2". Like, she a
That's
big
amazing.
girl. Yeah, so they've got, and they have so many cool clothes options, and like painting these is like so easy. And yeah, I love Hero Forge. I love Hero Forge. Like, I have more. Those are just two. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, fabulous. Yes, everybody get to Hero Forge.
Yes. Get over
But
there.
for now,
Get some minis.
let's do some things. Let's tell a story. So I think first off, I want to figure out Piomingo's class.
Yeah.
Both 5e and Coyote and Crow.
For sure.
And during the break, you had mentioned Warlock, which
yeah, I think that would be very interesting. Because they're seeking out Saint Holo, so like, maybe they become they're like a warlock to to them. Maybe they're not a warlock on the way there, but they're certainly coming back one.
we could absolutely, this could be what the feast is. This is finding the new, like, that there needs to be, like, each town has, or like each town is supposed to have the warlock of St. Hollow.
Yeah.
And that this is the person who you go and speak to, when, like, that essentially is the advisor that stands aside from, everyone else and is there to just help out. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. Because they need to have that wisdom from them,
The feast that has been laid out. The feast is a celebration of the journey that Piomingo is about to take to gain the knowledge necessary to help the village. To gain not the knowledge, the wisdom. The wisdom. We are not talking to Logos, we are talking to Sophia. The wisdom.
Yeah, the wisdom.
There we go. All right, cool. So, so Warlock of Wisdom, and we can also create St. Hollow as a patron. So that'll be absolutely fabulous.
New patron.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. St. Hollow, the
coming.
Patron of Wisdom. You know what's delightful? St. Hollow, the ancient dragon of wisdom that is both let's call them like a minor deity and a major warlock patron.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, totally. You like horned serpents? Well, and wisdom? We got the thing for you.
I'm loving this because I'm absolutely feeling like St. Hollow would just fit right into the sort of like the deities of the currently in the 5e universe. Like this, they would absolutely sit next to Bahamut.
Absolutely, absolutely. And give you like different options and ways to go with things. Like I dig it. Yeah, I definitely agree there.
100%. I love this. So it is. All right. So now in Coyote and Crow. What kind of
Coyote
class
and Crow? Like, I think for the Coyote and Crow, let's go ahead and oh man, I am like so torn. There's so many good archetypes in Coyote and Crow. I think I'm kind of leaning towards the Seeker a little bit. I'm kind of leaning towards the Seeker for their archetype.
Fabulous.
Seekers, their perception is the focus for the seekers, and they range from detectives to philosophers to sociologists and bounty hunters, and
Nice.
they see the world through an unusual lens, and
Yeah,
I think that like goes really well together.
absolutely. All right, cool. So I feel like we've got all of that sorted out.
Yeah.
Now it's time to explore the subconscious of the players.
Oh
It sure
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So in chapter 2, we have, in chapter 1, we've had a feast. We've discovered all the things we need. We have now also faced a big monster that is skinning people alive. And that's terrible. And now we've cleared the forest of this horrific monster. And the party heads to the caves where Sint Hollow resides. Because they have defeated Lofa, the forest is safe and calm. No encounters happen along the way. Once the characters enter the cave system, they will be faced with several divergent paths. They must use their wits to find the correct route. It will not matter which route they take. Each player will have to face one of their memories in a cavern.
Yeah, I dig that.
Let's see. Okay. Then in this chapter, the DM should use the information gained at the feast to set up short conflicts, short scenes based on the memories and backstories of the players. Each scene should have a small conflict that can be resolved fairly easily, but will have an emotional impact on the character. We don't necessarily want it to have an emotional impact on the character or on the player.
Right. Right.
All the other players may help the character resolve the issue in the scene. For example, if a let's do like a quick family one.
Yeah.
Character had to tells you that they lost their father in a war. You could set up a scene where the character gets to speak to their father just before the battle starts.
Mm-hmm.
The friends the other characters could help in the discussion or help to fend off attackers. So you have more time for some other action
Mm-hmm.
that allows them to participate, but also moves the action forward. Something like that. Like, I feel like it's very simple. You know, you don't go too complex.
Right.
I'd like to give them another example that is, what's another thing that, like, a character, just sort of in general, like one of your characters might reveal about their past?
Like one of the ones that we have for the adventures, or you mean for examples, like?
Yeah, for an example, so that
Okay.
there's, because I want, this is like a, hey, if this is your, if your thing is about your family, here's a thing that you can do. What's something completely different as a different?
Right. I think something completely different could be that like they could you know, like get a vision of something that's maybe to happen, you know, maybe if there's something that that's their character has a worry or a struggle with, that they've been kind of stewing on, maybe they get a vision of, you know, like of what's either going to happen or maybe what could happen. You could go either way with it, where it's like, you know, you've been having this kind of on your plate, and it's been a source of stress, and you are kind of overcome with this you know, vision of, insert vision here, or you
Let's
know.
see. There's, all right, encourage more friendly should be just a way to have each player tell a story from their past. Do we want to include not just stories from the past, but also they can tell a story about something that they're worried about for the future?
Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe that would be good as well. Yeah,
Right,
they could have that as an option. Yeah.
Each player tell a story from their past. It can be used as a story from their past or a concern for the future.
Like something that's unresolved. Like, there's this, it's ongoing, it's unresolved, and this was a part of that, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got, for example, for a past example and for a future example. So give me an example of a concern that your character might have about the future.
So let's see here. Discussion or fend off attackers so you have more time. So something for the future, like they, oh man, did I just make this really difficult for myself? Let's see.
Might
have just a little bit, you know. Let's see. So characters would help them discussion. I'm just like reading over yours to see help with the fend off the attacker so they have more time, or some other action that allows them to participate. Yeah, I think something for the future, maybe it's something that's not like, it's not something that's set in stone, so it's something that's like still taking shape, and maybe the other players help in that resolution, like, you know, they're
Well, I do have a concern about this. This is actually getting very close to dream therapy, and I don't want people doing therapy at the D table.
No. Yeah,
because
no.
That is like taking on aspects of potential future things.
Got you.
Is um, so
Yeah. And we
um,
don't want it to be therapy, no, for sure.
yeah. There's so why don't we do um, hmm, yeah, that's my concern. There is
Yeah.
doing hopes and dreams that might turn into, because
Mm-hmm.
doing past events
Yeah.
is, you know, like, oh, what would you have done differently?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which is a therapeutic technique, but is not, you can go
Mm-hmm.
as deep as you want to in that
Yeah.
situation. And it's much more easy to like incorporate other people into
Yeah.
that.
Maybe maybe like maybe in regard to the thing that's like not set in stone yet, maybe to include other players, maybe like they need to do maybe like checks or something, like maybe they need to like assist in a way of doing a check. That way it's like it's assigned like a this kind of check, and that will give the person help, like more of an assistance, like a helping hand
Sure.
to glean
What
more information about something.
I think, to get to the point where
Mm-hmm.
we can refine it, what is
Mm-hmm.
an actual example of a concern for the future
Oh,
that a
okay.
character might have? So
Okay.
like,
Oh yeah,
are
yeah.
we,
To
is it
give
really
to give more like a solidified example. A concern for the character. Let's see. A concern for the character could be maybe let me think. Concern for the character could be concern for them could be, oh gosh, this is so tough. I definitely
well,
went hard
I
on
think there's a like sort of a couple of options
yeah,
for that. It could be that like they are concerned that like their partner is going to leave them if they continue to adventure because they're never at home, that they will never accomplish, like their mission in life,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, or maybe their concern could be like, is what am I on the right path? Like, is what I'm doing, like, is what I'm doing on the right path? Maybe they had reservations about what they were doing as an adventurer. Maybe they felt like maybe they should be doing something else to help in a different kind of way, but they were really drawn to the adventuring type of stuff. So they were like, well, I'm helping my community by doing this adventuring stuff, but maybe they thought, oh, maybe I should be more like my brother or my sister. They help in this kind of way that's different, and maybe there's a concern there where they're like, am I really doing the right thing? Even though I'm a little off the beaten path, there's a little different than what was maybe expected of me, maybe, where they're like,
so how do you actually do that in there? Because this is the writer's issue, right?
Right.
We've got at this point hours of discussion about exactly what this is going to be and where this might be and where this could flow and how this could happen, but they're only going to have what's on the page.
So for an example, I would say their concern for the future is if they're on the right path, and there could be maybe other people in the party could maybe kind of like help and assist, or like reassure them, or we could doing it through checks, I think maybe eliminates the concerns with the therapy.
So what I'm trying to figure out is what checks would they be making, who would be rolling them, that kind of stuff.
I would say like their fellow party members, maybe have everyone do a check, and it would be like assisting this player. So maybe depending on what their specific, like at the DM's discretion of what this person's specific struggle is. So like for this person, where if there's their concern for the future is, am I on the right path? Maybe it's a wisdom check, and so maybe each party member who would like to assist this person can, or like we also don't have to include checks. Like it could just be like, hey, like I think you're on the right path for this reason, and they help them in that way. Or yeah, and I'm trying to like get it together to be like a cohesive idea.
I think I've got something. Give me one sec.
Okay.
So am I on the right path?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. The adventurer doesn't know whether they should continue on this path. In a situation like this, each other player could remind them of an event in their past that reassures them that they are doing the right thing.
Yeah, it could be more of like a community building kind of situation rather than like them really seeing a vision of anything. It could be more of a like, hey, like we're here for each other kind of situation.
Yeah. Each other player can offer up a moment where the character helped their character.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, so the whole thing is based on reassurances and developing connections,
like support and all that. Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's super legit, because then it shouldn't go into any sort of like weird
for sure,
like, hey, I'd like to rip open your trauma right here at the table and let's chat about that.
And then it's like, let's not. right. Yeah.
Fabulous. So at the end of all of these things, we will be, let me see, as the final scene resolves, the party enters a large cave filled with beautiful crystals, because I just love crystals.
Yes. Also, apparently, Santolo has a crystal on their head, so hey.
Ooh, I love it.
Hey.
There is the party enters a large cave filled with beautiful crystals. This is filled with beautiful crystals and a quiet stream running through it. This is where Piominko will commune with Santolo. At no point in the adventure should anyone describe Santolo or talk about their abilities. This way, when the dragon emerges, there can be genuine confusion and reactions. Here we go.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got now chapter 3. So now let's figure out. I'm a big fan of like multiple endings. You've got like your perfect ending if everybody does what needs to be done, and then you know, if people screw things up or if they
Right.
murder everyone.
Right.
And that's really a big one for me, is no murder hoboing,
Yeah,
because
same. I'm not a fan. I'm not a
it,
fan.
it's very much a Western concept, you
Yeah.
know, like if you
Yeah.
like, I've studied mythology from all over the world, like for a
Hmm.
long time,
Yeah.
just as sort of a hobby. And one of the things that I have noticed is that it's really only in Western thought that there has to be, like, you know, some major conflict happening, you know,
Yeah.
in every single story.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
and so I'm a big fan of uh, introducing the concept that you can actually get through these things without,
Yeah.
you know, shattering the world.
Right,
You
right,
know?
right. You don't have to just murder and destroy everything. Let's decolonize our gaming, right? Like, let's back it up a little bit. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's do. So now in chapter 3, you're going to be facing down the dragon. You have spent
Yeah.
2 acts
Mm-hmm.
just going through fun things with the characters, doing a
Right.
lot of role playing, a lot of backstory building.
Mm-hmm.
There's, in this situation, what is going to be the uh, the conflict here? Is it going to be that they don't understand that Sintala's avatar is the thing that
Oh, yeah, I
is
think,
looking for?
that would definitely, I like that for like causing that like that causing confusion where they're like, oh wait, what? Like this is a thing. Yeah, and are you meaning for like for the resolutions here where we have them not knowing that it is versus them knowing, or
Yeah. So, well, no. So resolutions would be like, if they kill Sinhala, what happens? If
got
Sinhala
you.
lives, but they don't accomplish what they were supposed to. If Sinhala lives and Piamingo becomes the warlock of Sinhala, you know, then so it's just that that's the
Got
sort
you,
of.
got you. Okay, yeah. So yeah, if I would say oh yeah, I would say it's more of like if they're hostile towards, yeah, if they're hostile towards the avatar of Sint Holo, that would be very bad. That's the bad ending. That's the bad ending. You're just
Well,
attacking.
let's create a situation where that confusion arises.
Okay, yeah.
What I'm thinking is, because they're invisible,
Yeah.
that part of the ritual could absolutely be that they have to, like, you know, they take Piominko and there's like a spot somewhere high up in the cave where they deposit them. But
Yeah.
because there's just this huge invisible presence that just has grabbed Piominko, that the adventurer's job is to protect them.
Yeah.
And what that looks like.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
That work?
Yeah. I think something like, I think even without Sintalo even grabbing Piominko, I think with just like a dragon appearing, I mean, I'm sure that's gonna freak most people out, where they're just like, oh shit, like they're gonna, I think most people, their first thought is gonna be like, oh, our next encounter. Like,
absolutely.
I think that's gonna be like the natural reaction is, oh, our next encounter, let's go. Like
I'm thinking that we start with as Piominko is meditating, something begins to disturb the water. DC, if they are level 13, I think we can make it a pretty high DC. DC 19, perception or nature check to see what is disturbing the water. On a successful check, the player discovers if it's a dragon avatar, I'm gonna say that it needs to be gargantuan.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking like huge, and it's kind of because it's like an avatar. It's like maybe spectral looking or something like.
Well, I'm thinking just invisible first.
Okay, yeah, for
Just
sure.
completely invisible, and then the players will need to find a way to make it visible.
Oh yeah.
And so we need to put some things somewhere in the cave that allows that to happen. And once it's visible, then it'll just turn fully visible. And
yeah, I think maybe to make it visible, I am terribly bad at riddles, so I shouldn't be suggesting this. But I think because of the story to Sintalo, them only showing themselves to those that are wise, like maybe their invisibility is locked behind a riddle, which I suck at. I have a friend who's just like, with riddles, they're like right there, like they have those answers like right away, and me, I'm over here like overthinking it, like just hurting my brain cells, but I think that could be good, like we get a riddle in there, nothing too crazy, that they could resolve, and then Sinholo will reveal themselves. Like,
I love it. Let's see, on a successful check they discovered that a huge creature is moving. A huge invisible creature is moving through the water.
And maybe they find, like, maybe the riddle could be found like within the cave, like on the wall, like maybe they see like the image I sent you, and they see like the riddle underneath it or next to it or something, where it's like, hey, there's this riddle, and they're just like, oh shoot, what is this?
Let's see. All right, so they discover the creature moving through the water. The creature begins moving towards Piominko. Trying to think about how to give them that information that isn't going to just isn't going to be the DM just being like, you see a thing on the wall and it's really important,
Maybe in their perception check. Maybe in their perception check they see that, or maybe in the DM, and as they enter this cave, and the DM, this happens, and then the DM could just say, as you're looking around the cave, this is what you see crystals, you see, there's a stream, and then they could describe, you see different, art and writings on the wall, particularly, in particular you see insert here. So maybe that way it's like
read by the DM. It will be the cave that sits in the center of this granite maze is awash with a gentle glow. Crystals.
Oh no, it disappeared. Oh wait, no, went to the next page. Okay, went to that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. I'm like watching it. I'm like.
Granite maze is awash with a gentle glow. Crystals. Natural. What color is the crystal?
Oh. Purple.
Natural clusters of amethyst jut from the walls. They create an almost kaleidoscopic That is terrible spelling. Create an almost kaleidoscopic effect as they redirect the glow of the nearby luminescent fungus. In this gentle light, the cavern seems peaceful and gentle. The only jagged edge is a carving of two dragons wrapped around each other. Jagged edge is a carving of two dragons wrapped around each other that surrounds a strange riddle reads, I know. I am inside and never without. I give you sight.
Oh.
Give you sight that your eyes may doubt. Yes, you had a fabulous idea.
Well, I just Googled riddle, so it wasn't really my fabulous idea, but I found one here that has to do with the water, so maybe that could be.
Fabulous. What is that?
What always runs but never walks, often murmurs, never talks, has a bed but never sleeps, an open mouth that never eats.
I get. There's. What else do we have? It's along that lines. Because honestly, I've heard that one several times. So I don't.
Oh shit! Okay, it'll be way too easy.
I want to grab something like this.
Yeah,
the place
yeah.
we'll actually have to work for.
Right. Oh, bright as diamonds, loud as thunder, never still, a thing of wonder. I'm so bad at riddles. I would never get this.
Wait, what is it?
Bright as diamonds, loud as thunder, never still, a thing of wonder.
Lightning, isn't it?
A waterfall.
Oh.
Right? It's like,
well, that one, I feel like there's
I would never get that.
There.
Yeah, I would never get that.
Never would know. There's, let me see. Do they have any riddles that specifically have to do with wisdom?
Let's see. Wisdom. Sorry, my computer's acting up, so I'm having to Google on my phone now.
Right. Oh, fun. Good times.
Type on my computer. Let's see. Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Let me try. I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Let's go for it because
right.
I suck at riddles.
You As a child, you could never. Oh, as a child, you stumble upon me. As you stumble upon me blindly. You stumble upon me blindly. You stumble. As a child, you stumble upon me blindly. As a teen, as a teen, I am given to you freely, but you reject me. As an adult, you seek me. As an adult, damn it. I was trying to do sort of like a Sphinx's riddle type thing. And I'm just like, there's, the wisdom of children, teens absolutely reject, anything that is like given to them from their parents.
Right.
Let's see. As a child, you stumble upon me blindly. As a parent, you offer me freely. As a leader, you give me out kindly. And as a parent, you offer me freely. As a leader, you give me out kindly. And freely is hard to rhyme. What rhymes with freely?
Let me Google that.
I'm just like
Rhymes with freely. Ideally, there's not a lot.
Ooh.
Like really, wheelie. Ideally,
ideally actually would work
Swahili.
Really well. Let's see. As a leader, you give me out.
So done. The words that rhyme with it are not good. Like it's like it's a little bit of a reach.
So as a child, you stumble upon me blindly. As a parent, you offer. As a child, you find me. There it is. As a child, you find me blindly. As a parent, you offer me freely. As a leader, you give me out kindly. The world should, or As a child, you find me blindly. As a parent, you offer me freely. As a leader, you give me out kindly. The world should have more ideally.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All right, fabulous. All right, fabulous. The answer to the riddle is wisdom.
Okay, very good. I was not able to solve that.
Yeah, so here's where we then give them some ways to help.
So bad at riddles.
Is wisdom. Each player may make an appropriate check based on their scene from chapter 2. This check should give them, this check, if successful, should give them one of the following hints. A child seems wise because child seems wise because they have nothing impeding their thoughts. A parent wants to offer their experiences to help guide their children. A leader should be a source of insight and help, of insight and information. And finally, if none of those work, then the world could use a bit more wisdom.
Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good.
All right, fabulous. I think that's a fun little riddle.
I think it's good. I wouldn't be able to solve it, but I'm sure I'd have some party members who could. I'm just like, I think I overthink riddles way too hard.
The same way. I'm the same
way
way.
Too hard. Like, and then I get paralyzed. Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's bad.
Oh my God. All right, so we don't have a whole lot longer left, so I want to make sure we get through this Act 3.
Yeah,
So we have got this. We've got this. Read this by the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, so if they get this, let's see. So, the creature should continue to explore the area invisibly, showing signs that they are still there. When we need to create a little bit of danger.
Yeah.
This situation.
Oh yeah. Like maybe they can hear things as they're traveling, and it's like, oh, there's something else here, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's show signs that they are still there. Let's see. So, coming along the way, no matter where they take, each player should have to face one of their members in the cavern. They're in between each scene, alert the players to the fact that there is some sort of large, invisible creature stalking them through the caverns. I think something, since we've mentioned the amethyst crystals, that as St. Hollow is moving through the cavern, occasionally they will knock over, or they'll like detach an amethyst crystal so it looks like there's actually like a cave-in happening in this situation. So they think that there might be something going on. Continue to explore the area invisibly, showing signs that they are still there. As they move around the cavern, crystals, amethysts will be dislodged from the ceiling, and each, and there is a let's say a 10% chance, a 10% chance that one of the crystals will hit a player for their 13th level. I'm gonna say 1d12 damage. 1d12. It's a crystal, so let's say piercing damage. Now, amethysts don't grow that. It would be bludgeoning damage. Bludgeoning damage. All right, and all the players need to do to reveal St. Hollow is give the answer to the riddle. Once St. Hollow appears, it will head straight for Pyominko. The players will need to decide what to do about that, but Pyominko does not move.
Yeah.
So let's see. So let's do a little. Players can engage St. Hollow. Let's see, stat block below. But they cannot kill but they will only be battling an avatar, and St. Hollow will be fine. Players can defend Pyominko in this case. I don't think St. Hollow would actually attack.
Yeah. Like, I don't think their intention is not to attack. I think they would, like, I'm kind of imagining the way that they would work is similar to like I ran this one, had this scenario where basically there was an awakened lake monster. And the players didn't know it was awakened, so their first instinct was to attack. Their first instinct was to attack. However, every time they attacked, it would run away. It would leave.
Okay.
It would get close. It would be very threatening, but it would leave if they were to try to attack it. So they could not defeat it because it would leave.
How about this to confuse the players? In this case, in Hollow won't attack. Anytime a player attacks Sint Hollow, it will move itself out of range quickly, but it will also pick up Piominko and bring him with them. I feel like in that situation, it's like, oh shit, we've got to defend him, and this dragon keeps grabbing and like moving it around, but the dragon never actually harms Piominko.
Yeah, never harms. And like, you know, maybe if things get too crazy, the DM could be like, you know, go ahead and roll me a perception check. And then they, you know, they beat the check and they notice like, oh, like you notice that this dragon's not harming them, and then maybe the party will go, oh shit. Or if in like what happened in my situation where one of the party members got so frustrated and at the monster running away, and they literally screamed out to the monster, and I forget what they said, but they screamed, and I like asked them, I said, are you talking to the lake monster? And he said, shut the hell up. He's like, they do not talk. And I said, so the lake monster responds? Yeah. And they were like, absolutely. Are you serious? And I said, yeah, they're awakened. And then they were just like, it was so good. It was so good. So it was so good. So let's do that. Let's do that.
All right. So in this case, the Hollow won't attack unless the players draw their weapons.
Yeah.
There's weapons, in which case Sint Hollow will pick up Piominko and move them away from the exposed weapons. The players may use insight or perception checks to see that the dragon isn't attacking or harming Piominko. Once the players begin interacting with Sint Hollow in a peaceful way, it will let them know about being a warlock patron. They will explain to the adventurers that the crystals in the cave amplify the connection to Sint Hollow, whose favorite stone is amethyst. Stone is amethyst. The final act, let's see, so
yeah, and amethyst is said to offer spiritual wisdom.
Yep. Do you know why amethyst is said to offer that?
Why?
Because until the 1960s, it was the only naturally occurring purple stone in the world.
Oh,
so
shoot.
It was the rarest kind of stone, and it is the thing all spiritual advisors would wear amethyst the same way that royalty would wear purple, because it was the rarest in the world.
And I looked up if there's amethyst, like if amethyst was like is from where my tribe was at, and it was. So I was like, hell yeah, cool, cool, cool. I was like, nice. I was like, I went with purple because it's my favorite color, but
I love it.
but hey, I was like, it all worked out. We love that.
The players may end the adventure here, having helped Piomingo gain the wisdom necessary to help their tribe, or you may create a final challenge for the players. Optionally, they may have to figure out a way to reattach a large amethyst cluster to the ceiling. Just a little extra, like if you want to put a button on it.
Right. Give them options.
Let's see. All right, fabulous. Okay,
Yeah.
let's look at this. So you start with a fabulous feast where you discover all kinds of stuff about the characters. Then you have a fun little fight where you have to save a princess. You get a fight where you save a princess. Love that. That makes me so happy. Then you journey to the caves. You explore the things that all of these characters have gone through, utilizing the stories that they told at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you have to solve a riddle and save a warlock so that they can become a new patron.
Yeah.
And I love that it feels like it's a very sort of gentle adventure.
Yeah.
You know, that the whole point of this is to solve the problems that most adventurers never face, which is how do you deal with the outcomes of the things that you have done.
Right.
Things like that. So I love this. I feel like this would be, like, as far as marketing goes, like this would absolutely be like, you know, a role play heavy, you know, exploration of character and backstory.
Makes a lot of sense. That's my style of DMing as well. I'm like, I'm rules light, RP heavy, you know, like like, and I'm here for evoking those emotions and role play. So I love that this like aligns with that. So super
wonderful.
Excited.
So now let's figure out these resolutions and rewards real quick, and then we need to figure out what art you are going to be doing. So resolutions, like if the avatar is killed, the village suffers calamity due to the lack of wisdom of their leaders. Eventually, the village will need to be abandoned, as St. Hollow will never return to the caves. If you help ensure that the warlock gains their patron, then St. Hollow sends you away with several boons to help move the village forward into a bright and glorious future. Very cool. So rewards, I feel like it should be based on RP.
Yeah, for sure.
For this.
Yeah.
So let's say rewards. Each player should nominate someone besides themselves as the best RP of the session. Each person who is, so that way at least 2 people will have to be nominated.
Yeah.
Each person who is nominated will gain +1 wisdom permanently. Each nominee will then roll a d20. Whoever rolls highest also gets another +1 to wisdom permanently. I think that's lovely. That'll just be, and like my hope is that everybody will nominate someone new, but if somebody was truly amazing, they should absolutely be rewarded by their peers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous. Let's see. And what is something really cool that Scent Hollow could give?
Let's see. Are we wanting like something like tangible, basically, like, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking an item of some kind.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe like maybe it could be like an item with amethyst on it or something for the
absolutely
for having the wisdom, like maybe a ring or a weapon. Yeah, maybe like a ring or a bracelet, necklace, or a circlet, or maybe a circlet. Maybe a circlet would be pretty cool.
Ooh, fabulous. All right, so the circlet of Scent Hollow. Yep.
Yeah.
The circlet of Scent Hollow. What does a circlet do? Because the whole point is to guide people into the future, do you want, I feel like maybe some divination.
Oh yeah, divination would be cool. Yeah, for sure.
Circlet of Scent Hollow. Any spells or abilities that are divination based or attempt to contact, invoke divinity are amplified.
Yeah. And maybe like, because there's like the divination spell, maybe anyone who has it can use that ritual spell divination.
Gain access to the ritual spell divination. And all these spells or abilities are cast. Any rolls made to determine any rolls made for any of these spells abilities are rolled with advantage. Advantage any abilities or spells that require more than one action between castings can be cast twice as often. So like contact other plane, or contact patron or divinity or something like that, which normally could only be done once a week, could actually be done every 3.5 days at that point, things like that, giving them access. I feel like that's pretty solid. Like the whole advantage thing is definitely super solid for all of those. I think that that's delightful. And the fact that it covers an entire range of spells, I think is fabulous. All right, awesome. So we are almost out of time, but there are a couple things that we need to do. Number one, what is the image that you want on the cover?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I sent Lando that image of Saint Hollow. We could use that. I think works well. Or so the image that I sent you as well. The image I sent you as well works well.
Because we are utilizing that to surround the riddle, I'd like to do that internally.
Okay. Yeah.
There is, and I'm assuming the riddle would take the place of the hand in the center of that.
Yeah, we could do that, or we could put just the riddle below it or something. Or maybe,
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But what I'm thinking is that riddle will be one of the pieces of art in the center.
Yeah. Got
this you. And the riddle, so that the
DM
can actually see it.
Got you. Yeah. Here, I'll send you the image I sent Lando. It's the one for our background here. Oh, I can't do that because. Oh wait, there we go. Come on. Sorry, my computer is not liking me right now. Let me do this through my phone.
Doing all the fun stuff.
Yeah. Doing it through the phone because my PC is not liking me right now.
Right.
Hold on, sorry.
Ooh, you know what? Actually, I would like, because I think that it will be very useful. I think if the cover is Saint Hollow themselves, like them as the fully fleshed dragon, that'll be the most comprehensive piece, and then we can also pair that with the stat block for the avatar.
Yeah, for sure. Here, let me send this to you. That's the picture that I had sent Lando. So if you need inspiration for, hey, this is a Saint Hollow.
Oh, very nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can make sure that that Momo has, not that Momo, that I think your artist is probably going to be Ala Al Khalifa, also known as Fawn.
Cool.
So she'll be in contact with you to generate all of this stuff. So we can do on the cover would be Saint Hollow. I think if we did Saint Hollow with Minko, that'll be a beautiful cover. Sort of showing the wisdom there, either as a threat or as a gentle something.
Right.
There is, and then we can do. How would you feel about doing? What is their name? Lofa.
Lofa. Yeah, we could. Yeah, totally we could. Big,
so
floaty, hairy, ogre type of troll kind of looking character.
And then, so if we've got Sint Hollow and Fiuminko on the cover and Lofa inside, do you want to keep the third image as the Sint Hollow with the riddle? Or do we want to...
Sorry, what was that?
So do we want to do something else, since we'll have Sint Hollow and Fiuminko on the cover? And then Lofa as one of the internal ones. We have one more internal piece of art that we can commission. Do we want to do that as the Sint Hollow with the riddle, or do we want to do something different?
I think with the riddle would be good. Yeah, I think that would be good. Like, to do that with the riddle would be good. That way they have like a visual, you know.
Awesome. And now finally there is so our sponsor today is going to be Hero Forge.
Yeah, Hero Forge. We love Hero Forge.
Authors, do you want to be Momo on the page? Like, how do you want to be referenced as in the author credits?
Oh, fun. Oh my gosh.
And if you don't want to say it on stream specifically, you can just type it to me.
Yeah. Can I think about that for a minute and let you know?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you.
So,
I'm like, what's the best way to go about that? Yeah. So I'll think about that, and I will get you the answer shortly on that.
That's awesome. And we will pop the artist in there, and there we have it. You have just written a one-shot.
Yay!
Live on stream. You did it! Yay!
Thank you so much. This has seriously been so much fun.
Oh, good! Yay! I love that.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited.
Tell everybody where they can find you again.
Yeah. So you can find me over at AMinstrelsTale on Twitch, and MinstrelsTale here on Twitter and Twitch. I'm dyslexic, you know, it's a fun time. You can find me on AMinstrelsTale at twitter.com and MinstrelsTale here on Twitch. I do TTRPG streams and also variety games, a little bit of everything, sharing tales with you from this realm and beyond. And yeah, that's basically where you can find me. If you give me a follow if you want to see what I got going on, because I got a lot of different things going on all over the place. So yeah.
Fabulous. There is I want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you so much for supporting Magnificent Mythologies the way that you do. I want to thank Hero Forge for being such a fabulous sponsor to us and to all of the people that we work with here. And now we are going to go, first we are going to get some fabulous dice going. So, hey Lando, let me see who it's going to be. Who's it going to be? And when you do, send me a message on Discord or a whisper in Twitch so that I can connect you with some fabulous Phoenix dice. And while that is happening, we are going to go a raiding over to one of our friends. And I can't wait.
I need to get some Phoenix dice.
Yes, everybody does. They are fabulous. And thank you again. We will see you on Sunday for Wonders of the World with the healer DM, Connor, as we continue to flesh out the planar touchstones that are so powerful and so integral to the world of the Patchwork Planet. Huzzah! Yay! Thank you, Momo. You're fabulous.
Thank you.